Right now we're in the time of Elul, 40-day period that starts with Rosh Elul and finishes with Yom Kippur. This 40-day period is the time when Klal Yisrael is noeg to start doing Teshuvah. And that brings us to Rosh HaShana, and it culminates by Yom Kippur. And this time is really set up like this already from the time that we became Klal Yisrael. When Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Har Sinai, to be Mekabel the Luchos the first time, so he came down and there was the Cheda Eilah and he broke the Luchos. And then he went up again on the third time he went up was on Rosh Elul, was the time to go up for the Ritzui, when Hashem was Meratza Klal Yisrael. He went up for the Teshuvah. And when Hashem started to do the Kapara of Klal Yisrael, and that went for 40 days, he was up in Shemayim, starting on Rosh Elul, and he came down on Yom Kippur, and that's why Yom Kippur, for Deirei Deiros, is the day of Slicha and Kapara. Yom Kippur is the day of Ritzui and Slicha and Kapara. And the process starts on Rosh Elul. And what do we do during these 40 days? So during these 40 days, we try, first of all, we do some specific things. We blow shofar. Shofar is ma'ir us to do Teshuvah. We get up early. Some people get up early already, starting back from Rosh Chodesh. Some people wait a little bit, but we get up early to start doing slichas. And we try to improve our ways. We try to do Teshuvah. We try to do things better during these days. Comes the Seres Mei Teshuvah, we try to do even more things better. And this is all part of the avodah of Elul and the avodah of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. And Elul is Rosh Tevis Ani L'Doidi, I am for my master, V'Doidi Li, and he is for me. That's Rosh Tevis Elul. The Soifei Tevis is Ani L'Doidi V'Doidi Li. Every word ends with a Yud, and that's 4 times Yud is 40, which is a remez that there's 40 days of doing Teshuvah, 40 days of working on ourselves. And the question that starts to come up over the years is, when we come to Elul, when we come to Rosh Hashanah even more, as we come to each day, as it starts to get holier and it starts to feel more serious on us, and we start to do things on a higher level, at some point, many of us, or at least myself, we start to have a question. What's this all about? It feels fake. What am I going to do? I'm going to sit, I'm going to daven Rosh Hashanah, I'm going to have so much kavana, I'm going to not eat certain things, or I'm going to act in certain ways, and again, I'm going to say Kam Yom Kippur, and say Al Chet, I did this Chet, and what? The next day I do it again. It's just, what's the point? What are we doing this for? It just feels fake. So what should I do? Should I just keep faking every year? I don't know if anyone else is ever had this kind of question or not. But this is something that is one of the worst possible feelings to have when it comes to the time of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Because if you feel like this, then guess what you do, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. When it comes time to daven Rosh Hashanah, and you have that hisoris to do Teshuvah and to daven better, you have that little voice inside of you that says, meh, what's the point? Just daven quick. And guess what you do if you listen to that voice? You daven quick, and you don't daven better. So we have got to learn, who is that voice? Is the voice, there's always 2 voices in us. Is the voice our Yetzer Tov, or is our voice our Yetzer Ra? And if it is, it feels like the Yetzer Tov. I'm honest. I'm an honest guy. Come on, this is not me. You got to know who you are. I'm on this level. I can't act on this level. It's a fake. I feel like a faker. It's my honest voice. It's my Yetzer Tov. Fuck out. I don't want to pretend. I want to be clear who I am, and I want to make sure I know who I am. That's what sometimes we start to feel. And then we don't do it. So we got to look a little bit and see, is this a Yetzer Tov or is this a Yetzer Ra? Is there something wrong with faking? Or is this in fact what we're supposed to do? So there's many different answers that we could give to our voice. But the first thing to realize is that if we can answer that voice, it will change completely our avodah of the entire Elul and the entire Rosh Hashanah, the entire period of Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. If we could learn how to answer that voice, and if we could learn how to say to ourselves, even though it doesn't feel right, I'm going to do it anyways. And I'm going to strive to do more, and I'm going to make my brachas better, and I'm going to daven better. I'm not going to talk in shul this week. Even though maybe next week I will talk in shul, but I'm not going to think about that right now. Right now I'm going to think about today. Today I'm not going to talk in shul. Tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's not part of the discussion. So how do we get ourselves to feel that way? So that's what we'll talk about a little bit. So the idea is, are we fakers? Are we doing something wrong? Is there something wrong with not talking during davening or having more kavanah one time? So there's a number of different things to understand in this concept. The first thing to understand is that we human beings, myself included, all of us, we tend to make a fundamental error in the fact that we tend to think that it's kind of all or nothing. Everything's got to be black and white. So I'm either a guy who davens with kavanah, or I'm a guy who doesn't daven with kavanah. I'm either a guy who talks in shul, or I'm a guy who doesn't talk in shul. There's no kind of in the middle. And the truth is that that's not what happens. When you come up to Shemayim, they don't say, okay, did you talk in shul or not? Oh, you're a talker? Okay, you go into the talker category. No, every time a person talks, or that's just one example, but every time I don't eat chal v'yisrael, I do eat chal v'yisrael, I don't eat treif, I do eat treif, I carry, I don't carry, I learn, I don't learn. It's not how it works. If you learn one time for 1 minute, or for 5 minutes, or for 10 minutes, or for whatever it is, you get judged positively for that one time that you learned. If you learn 12 times, then you get schar for the 12 times. You don't have to be a learner. There's no such thing actually as a category called I'm a Sunday morning learner, I'm a Sunday and Tuesday learner, I'm a Sunday, Wednesday, Friday learner. Every time you learn, you get schar. Each individual act that we do, l'tov u'l'ra, whether it's good or bad, is individually judged. So, comes time a person's thinking about saying Lashon Hara. So he says, I always say Lashon Hara, who cares? I just, one more time saying Lashon Hara, what's the difference? Chas v'shalom, it's not true. Each time a person says Lashon Hara is an individual act, it's an individual sin, and it has nothing to do with the previous day's sin. And if you hold yourself back from saying Lashon Hara one time, then you get schar for not saying Lashon Hara one time. And if you do say Lashon Hara one time, you get punished for that one time. So the first mistake that we're making, a fundamental error that we're making is, what's the difference? So you said one bracha with kavanah, amazing. If you say one bracha with kavanah, it's amazing. And if you say two brachas with kavanah, it's amazing. If you say one word, it's amazing. What's the faking over here? Are you davening with Shmoneh Esrei with more kavanah, so you daven with more kavanah? During Elul, I'm not going to talk during davening. Great. So after Elul, you will talk. So what? So at least during Elul, you didn't talk. During Elul, I'm going to learn every night before I go to sleep for 1 minute. So you learned the extra minute. I learned for 5 minutes. I'm going to come to a shir during Elul. Every Sunday morning or every whatever, I'm going to come to a shir during Elul. Amazing. When you get up to Shemayim, you're going to get schar, which is an unbelievable schar to a shir that you can't even imagine, for each time you came to shir. And they're not going to say to you, well, you came Sundays during Elul, but you didn't come the rest of the year. They're not going to say that. They're really not. They're going to say, you came Sundays during Elul, amazing. The rest of the year, we'll worry about the rest of the year. That's a different discussion. Maybe it is a problem, but that doesn't matter. Everything that we do, every individual act that we do, is unbelievable. It's so great that we can't even imagine how great it is. The Chavetz Chaim talks about a time when a person's davening Shmoneh Esrei, and as he's davening, let's say he flies off to wherever he goes and he's thinking about whatever he's thinking about, and he wakes up by the last bracha of Shmoneh Esrei and he realizes, wow, I didn't pay attention at all. What is a natural reaction for a person to do at that point? I didn't pay attention until now. I'm going to start Sim Shalom with Kavanah, especially if it's Marv, it's even shorter. Shalom Rav with Kavanah, like a few lines. He says it's comparable to a person walking on a beach. This is his mashal. A person's walking on a beach, and there's diamonds on the beach. And there's waves coming in, and the waves are coming in, and they're taking away the diamonds. So he gets to the beach, and there's 1,000 diamonds there, and all of a sudden something happens, and he's not able to save the diamonds, and the waves are coming, they're taking away the diamonds. And there's one diamond left, and he could get it. What do you think he's going to say? I missed the other 999, so what's the point? What, are you crazy? That you get the one diamond, grab it. Grab that last diamond, because that last diamond is worth, you still have a diamond. Maybe, okay, you'll feel bad you didn't have the other ones, but at least you have this one. So the first idea for us to understand is that each time that we do anything, any individual thing, it's not all or nothing. It's not black and white. In fact, we're all gray. We all have things that we do better and worse. There's ein tzaddik ba'aretz asher yatsa tov v'lo yechta. There's no tzaddik in the world who's doing good and not doing bad. So we're all somewhere in the middle. Nobody is the ultimate Rasha, and nobody is the ultimate tzaddik. We're all somewhere in the middle. And therefore, we're always doing some things which are not 100% and some things which are maybe better. And the idea is to do more things better and less things bad. And each individual one is so valuable. Each time that we refrain ourselves or hold ourselves back from doing something which is wrong, or each time that we do something which is right, that specific time is unbelievable. So the next time a person wakes up and has a hisoris to do some sort of teshuvah, to go to a shir, even to go to part of a shir, to learn something, to daven, to not talk, to not say lashon hara, to eat a better hechsher, to whatever it is, come on time to davening, anything you want, make a better bracha. You pick that one thing and you do it, the schar that you'll get for that is adin shir, is impossible even to imagine. And they're not going to say to you, you didn't keep it up the whole rest of the year. It's not part of it. That's point number one. Point number two is an idea which we could also take from in the 12-step program. So they have a saying that they say, let's take it one day at a time. Take it day by day or one day at a time. I'm going to be good just for today, whatever they say exactly. And the idea is that when a person's trying to make a change, it's very difficult to change forever. When you start thinking about, I'm going to go learn every night, it starts to become like, whoa, every night, and what happens if this happens, and what happens if that, forget it, I'm not going to do anything. And the point is that it's very difficult to start to change forever, for so long, to keep it up. To be able to manage to keep it up for so long becomes very hard. And what happens is that we just don't do anything. And that's part of the idea of Elul, of Rosh HaShana, Yom Kippur. I remember many years ago, I said this story over recently, but I remember many years ago I was in camp. And they have color war. Those of you who are familiar with color war. So during color war, all of a sudden, everybody becomes very frum. And comes to benching, and the counselors start telling the kids, let's go, let's bench, yell your heart out. Then comes to a main, let's say a main amazing, because you get points for how well you bench, and you get points for how well you daven. And they have these big cards that say, shh, don't talk during davening, daven with all your heart. And, I was looking at it, I was like, well, what is this? This is like, all of a sudden, now we should daven with all our heart so we can get points? Like, what kind of message is that? Like, the whole rest of the year, no problem. But now we'll daven with all our heart. So, a bunch of us, we went to head council. We said, this is ridiculous. You're sending the wrong message. So, he said this, let's look at the rest of color war. What do you do during color war? So all of a sudden you have these young kids, 17, 16, 18, 19-year-old kids, and they're doing very interesting things. They're acting in plays, they're writing songs, they have to do a lot of the control of the camp that they don't do, and they're doing things. They're making banners, art, all kinds of unbelievable things, and they do it all in 2 days. They put on a whole play with scenery, with props, with acting in 2 days. And it's pretty good. And the question becomes, how does that happen? How do these kids who don't really do these things much, how are they able to do it? And the idea is that because there's a point, and because there's points, and because they're trying to win, they reach inside themselves and they do more. And it shows them, hey, look, I could write a song. Or I could write a play. Or, I myself found out a lot of things that I could do that I never knew I could do from color. For many years I was in color, and, I did all kinds of different things. I decorated gyms, and I managed things, and I was like, I never did that the rest of the year. Like in yeshiva, we don't do these kind of things. So during color, you see what you could do. So he said the same thing happens by davening. If we come to davening during color, okay, so unfortunately it's because we're getting points. But look what davening could look like. Look what davening could be. Look what benching could be. And when we start to see what it could be, when we start to see what it really could be, it rubs off on the rest of the year. You may not think that it does, but it does. It rubs off on the rest of the year, and it does spread through the rest of the year. So therefore the idea is that we have a point during the year where we're sort of supposed to say to ourselves, slow down, let's take a step back, let's try to be better. And even though maybe it feels a little bit fake because it just doesn't feel comfortable, I usually talk during davening, and now all of a sudden I'm not going to talk during davening. Or I usually don't pay that much attention when I make a bracha, and now I'm going to pay more attention. What kind of business? Yeah, well, if you do it for 40 days, if you do pay attention for 40 days, or even if you do it a few times, you'll be surprised that maybe during the year it will continue. And if every year you take certain things and you try to improve them during this time, it might spread throughout the year. So let's take it one day at a time. For today, I'm going to do this. For today, I'm going to come to night today. Or for today, I'm going to go to a shir. For today, I'm going to daven. Tomorrow's another day. And then tomorrow, you say again, for today, I'm going to do it. And before you know it, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 40 days, it starts to become part of you. And then all of a sudden, it does spread through the rest of the year. And it does continue through the rest of the year. So, just another idea, there's a couple more ideas about this, maybe we'll continue next week in Mitzvah Shem. But the idea is 2 points. Number 1 point, just to review quickly, number 1 point is that each time, even if it is only for 1 day, the schar that you get for that 1 day and the benefit that you have for that 1 day is unbelievable. And number 2 is, you'd be surprised that if you do it, it will maybe spread throughout the year. So therefore, when we look at ourselves at any point during Elul, during Rosh HaShana, we say maybe we're faking. It's good, fake. Do the best you can, even if it's just one time. Don't fake that one time. Make it real. Make it happen, even if it doesn't feel right. I'm not the guy who does that. Do it anyways. Maybe you'll become that guy. And even if you don't become that guy, at least you'll get schar for that one time. Shkach.